Yo, welcome to a new episode of the Speaker Giga Podcast. I'm your host, Steve, and I'm with my brother, Tommy T, our residential music consumer. And you got me, 10 years in the game of music industry. Got a little bit of knowledge up in my brain here about this music industry stuff. And shout outs to G, who is still off, by the way, because of his wedding. And that's our residential artist with Acronym Music. Today, man, we got a beautiful show for y'all today. I said a beautiful show. Yeah, it's going to be beautiful. We got a great show today. We're going to be talking about that versus battle, man.
Yes, sir.
Fat Joe, JaRule, and everything that conspired around that. So y'all make sure y'all lock in, get ready for that. Also, we got the news with Tommy T, where we're going to be talking about Usain Bolt. We're going to be also be talking about Diddy and Jermaine Dupri. We're going to be talking about Nicki, and we're going to be talking about a couple other things as well. So get ready for that news segment. And like always, man, even though G is not here, we got him in spirit because we are going to be talking about what's going to be on this week's Speaker Gigas playlist on Apple Music and Spotify. So get ready for the top 5 with me and Tommy T. So without further ado, please like, share, subscribe, so that y'all make sure y'all don't miss anything we got going on, whether it's on YouTube, on the official 3Amp Media page, or if it's on your favorite podcast platform. Please make sure to chip in, make sure you subscribe, make sure you share, like, comment, and let us know, man. Let us know how we doing, because we see y'all listening. You know what I'm saying? All our folks out there overseas as well. We know y'all there. So without further ado, let's enjoy. Tommy T.
What's happening? What's up?
You all right over there?
Yeah. I'm fine. Did it freeze up?
It was trying to work through it. It was like, hey, but yeah, that was doing that. So might want to switch over.
I did, man. I did. Ain't nothing, man. I'm sitting here chilling, man. Doing my thing, man, like always.
Word. Hey, man.
We got a new setup here. You know.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
It's nice. We don't have a bed and boxes. Again. Ain't nothing wrong. Just put a couple paintings up. You're good to go.
Yeah, that's it.
Whatever you want to put up.
Slowly but surely.
Absolutely. So, man, I was in my bag on that intro. There it is.
Yeah,
I think
man.
I hit my stride.
I like that, brother.
I like that too, man. I think that's the way we're going to keep it.
Yeah. I can't wait to become the residential DJ. It's coming.
There you go.
It's coming.
Keep working.
I gotta give me some turntables and learn how to do that.
Man, I've been finding some on the Facebook market. It's been pretty interesting.
It's something I got my eye on that DJ Jazzy Jeff helped, like, basically got behind, and it's for like beginners, and it doesn't cost so much. That's the big thing for me, the cost on a lot of stuff. So I've been keeping my eye on those, and then I've been on eBay, like trying to see who got some used stuff that I could possibly get. So
check out Facebook Market, because I've seen a lot. It's crazy because turntables used to cost so much.
Yeah.
And now I'm catching them for a good price. But there's a lot of those, the digital media ones and stuff, which is cool, So yeah, man.
Man, you remember that game? You probably don't. I know you remember Rock Band.
Yeah.
Because everybody remembers Rock Band.
Mm-hmm. But there was a DJ one.
It was a DJ one. And I used to kill on that jump, man.
I never got a chance to play it.
You didn't?
No.
I
never got a chance. Yeah.
A lot.
I wish I would have learned how to do turntables. I just never. I was always in the rapping part because I did rap for a while. But I should have learned how to do turntables.
Like my homeboy, shout out to DJ Low.
Low!
He used to let me mess around with his, man. I had no clue what I was doing, but I enjoyed music so much. So I used to like find music for him and be like, hey, you heard this? Be like, nah, you go listen to it and stuff like that. So I used to have fun when I did that, man. Never did a party or anything, but I made playlists all the time.
Oh, yeah, I did the same as well. I started to kind of learn how. Shout out to my homie DJ Breeze, Prez, and H Boogie. They used to let me mess around with them. It was in like at the end of a party. My homie DJ Breezy, young Breezy as they call him now. He was like, yeah, man. I was like, man, T-Man do this. Man, that man just put me at the end of the part, like, there you go. I was like, dude, okay, well, I mess with him. But when it's someone else's, I'm always kind of nervous to like play with them because I don't want to break a needle or mess them up. So I never really got into it. So I wish I would have just went ahead and bought my own in college and then got some practice in. So, but it's all good. It's all good. So, yeah, man. So other than that, man, week seemed to be pretty good.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. So I guess it's about that time, man.
Let's get into it, brother.
Let's get into them top 5 for the week. So, like G has done before, I guess I will. Oh, did you put yours in the Slack?
No, I haven't put them in the Slack, man. But I'm like, I was gonna do it after I did this.
Okay. Well, we'll just yeah, we'll just go off the top.
Yeah.
So, man, hey, we'll let you start, man. You go ahead, Fork. I think I went last week.
All right, bet. So this week, man, my top 5 is going to consist of a lot of T-Pain and some Master P. Last week, I was at work, and it's funny, man. A friend of mine was like, he was like, I can't find anything to listen to. And so I was like, well, when I can't find anything to listen to, T-Pain, I always go back to T-Pain. So I posted on Facebook, was like, I don't know if you saw it, Steve.
I saw it.
But
I just didn't have a chance to comment.
Yeah, I posted on Facebook, what's your favorite T-Pain song? Because I know you have one. And then I got to thinking, I was like, T-Pain has to be one of the most liked artists out there, like right now. I basically, my 5 is going to be Studio Love.
Okay.
It's one of them because I think that was a solid song, and the Spanish guitar just set it off.
That's my favorite one, I think. That's the one in the studio?
Yeah. Yeah.
In the studio. In the studio. Man, it was a girl I know. Real quick story. It's a girl I know. I ain't talked to in a long time. I think she did get it on in the studio one time. But that's always been one of my things. I was like, dang. She said that was her favorite song. I think she did, but I don't know. But it makes me kind of be like, dang, that might be a cool like little thing to do. But the only thing is, you get it on in the studio, you got to sanitize the thing afterwards. I don't want to come in that bad, but hey, who knows?
Right. And I'm gonna go. That was off a rapper turned singer album. This next one is like another one of my favorites. It's Backseat Action featuring Shauna. And that was off of the Epiphany album. I chose that one just because when I was going through it, I was like, dang, this song is really bumping. But a lot of people don't really like remember it like the hits. Like Buy Me a Drink and all those tracks. Buy Me a Drink. What's another one? My wife was like, your stomach, tipsy.
Wait, your stomach?
Yeah.
Is that what you said?
I'm in love with your stomach.
I don't remember that one.
6-pack, 4-pack, you already know that. That's that one.
I don't remember
Epiphany.
that one.
It's off the Epiphany album, bro. You gotta go check it back out. What else? Buy You a Drink. Shawty Snapping. What's the song for Shawty Snapping?
Ooh, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I'm in love with a stripper.
I love with stripper. Yeah. And there's some other ones I can't think of right now.
Man, like T-Pain, like for me, T-Pain like did it as far as like my college career.
He was for the college generation. He definitely was the hit maker at the time.
Right. And then Wayne just took over the game.
Yeah.
He did a song with Lil Wayne. Can't Believe It. That's off of the Three Rings album. And that's my third top 5. I ain't gonna say too much about that one. The other two, man, we're gonna bring it to No Limit. Mr. Ice Cream Man by Master P and Silk the Shocker. I heard a band playing that, bro, and I was like, me and my wife was like, I want to do they really know the song? I was like, I don't know, but the song is bumping. I'm sitting out there rapping it, so I went back and listened to it, man. I was like, dog, this just bring back memories. And then my last one to top out my top 5 is Mystical. Here we go, featuring Be Legit and E40 and Master P. I picked that one just because I went from Master P to Mystical, and that's one of the songs. It's off of his Unpredictable album. That's one of the songs that I was like, this song is dope because everybody's spelling stuff, and I remember like everything, like they're spelling and stuff like that. So I just thought it was cool. And then that was really my first introduction to E40 and how dope he was on that track. So
gotcha.
Yeah, that's pretty much gonna round out my top 5, man.
All right, man.
Shoot,
that sounds pretty
throwback.
Pretty good, solid. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
T-Pain. Man, the crazy thing about T-Pain is he can really sing without the auto-tune.
Right. That's the wild thing, man.
Yeah. So, shoot. I don't know. I hope he's all right though. Sometimes it seems like he just on a rant all the time or something. Yeah.
I don't think he feels like he get his just due.
Yeah, he probably don't feel that way, which I can understand. But you know, I always say, man, enjoy the ride. Did you get your money?
Right. Did you get paid?
And if that's the case, man, make more music. I'm sure you can. You got an easy way to for me. I'm thinking you got an easy way to reinvent yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sing without the dang auto tune.
I don't think he has to
because you don't need it,
man. That song, I like that. I think is the name of it. He got with Kalani. That song's so bumping to me, man.
Is he using auto tune on it?
I'm not sure. I can't remember. It's just, like for me, it didn't really resonate if he was or not. You know.
Yeah, I have to check it out. Well, I don't mean by like reinvent, like, you know, but I mean, you know, you can't come back and do the same thing you was before.
Right.
You can easily just sing without the auto tune, you know, and or whatever. So, but yeah, shout out to T-Pain, man. I love T-Pain. Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
Yeah. So man, let's get into my top 5 real quick. So top 5 is very interesting, man. Eminem, my first one, Eminem, Till I Collapse. Probably one of my favorite Eminem songs. It's crazy because, all right, so my son, the reason why we got on Eminem, my son, new Venom movie coming out. So
can't wait. What is it, next week?
Yeah, October.
The first.
Yeah, I think it's the first.
Yeah.
It's an Addams Family movie coming out too on the first too. I got to watch that one as well. But the Venom, you know, new Venom movie coming out. So my son's been wanting to listen to the Venom song that he did for the first one. Mm-hmm. So I was listening to that, and then my wife, she was like, do you really know who Eminem is? Which she doesn't. And then she was like, all right, let's go through the catalog so you can kind of hear some of the stuff, but be very careful of his potty mouth, is what she told him. So we started going through, and like, the first thing I thought about was people always saying Eminem don't talk about nothing. And I was like, you go back, like, what were y'all listening to? Like, go back and listen to all these records. He was talking about a lot, you know, like, and especially on this song, Till I Collapse, about, if you listen to this song, this song and Lose Yourself is probably one of the most inspirational, motivational, keep going type of songs you'll probably ever hear. Mm-hmm. And so I just kind of went through and just listened. I was like, dang. And was really talking about some stuff. I think people just, his antics was what drew them to him, you know, the crazy stuff that he said. But in other records, like, he was talking about a lot. Like, if you just go back and listen, like, M is dope. Yeah, leave him alone. M got records. M got records, and he can spit. So, you know, that's just kind of how it is. But Till I Collapse is one of the records. Like, if you need something, you in the gym, or you need to make it through a day, listen to that one. Yeah. I guarantee you'll make it through. 7th Streeter, man. Wet Dreams. Look, she got a new album she just dropped. Ooh-wee. I've been waiting on 7th Streeter, man. I like 7th Streeter a lot, man.
Oh, yeah.
That's my That my gal there. I just say that
for lack of better words.
Yeah, I didn't get myself in trouble over here. I love Seventh Streeter, man. I'm happy to see her release another album. So, Wet Dreams, man, check that one out. I mean, the title say it for itself. Yeah, check that one out. Yeah, for a new album. Pusha T, No Regrets. Look, I went back to listen. Like I always listen to, when I listen to Pusha T, most time I go to listen to most recent stuff. Because Push is he's always putting out something that's dope and he's always spitting. But there's sometimes I be like, dang man, I ain't listening to this for a minute, this album or this album. Cause I just sometimes with Push, I gotta listen to new stuff. I don't go back as often. But when I do and I find them go back to those old albums and find them gems, I start feeling the way I felt when I first heard them. I'm like, dang, this stuff just crazy. But No Regrets, man. With Pusha T off of My Name Is My Name. And Jeezy's on this record as well. Man, this record here is one of my favorite records from that. The beat's fire, Pusha spitting, Jeezy's on it. Another one of those motivational type of songs. Man, go check it out, man. It's easy. It's Push, period. Mozzie dropped a new one this week. My homie from the West Coast. This my guy. I haven't
listened to that joint yet, man.
This is my guy.
It's in my queue.
Hey, it's in the queue, but push it to the front. Mozzie low key hard. Like Mozzie hard. Mozzie can spit. That man can spit for sure. But let you know, this song has YFN Lucci on it.
Yeah.
Free YFN. This record hard, man. It's a fun record. But the entire album is hard too. So go listen to it. His most recent work, Mozzie. I gotta go to a Mozzie concert one of these days. But man, Mozzie hard, man. Mozzie hard. And then to round out my top 5, before my one honorable mention, to round out my top 5. This is a record I listened to like a couple weeks ago, but I forgot to put it on my top 5. But it's been in my head for weeks. So I put it on my top 5 for this week because this was one of those college year records that man, I enjoyed a lot. And it's an Outkast, preferably Andre 3000 part.
Yeah.
Prototype. Goodness gracious, man.
The Prototype.
This song was just fire.
Yeah.
Period.
Bro, it had to grow on me, bro.
It did?
Yeah, it had to grow. Like when I remember like first hearing, I would just skip it. And like now it's like, yeah, those one of those songs I have to listen to.
It's a classic.
It's definitely a classic, man.
And probably because he sung on this, it was like there was no rapping. This was all singing, and you was just kind of like, wait a second. But when I first heard it, it was just so smooth. I couldn't skip it. Yeah. I was like, because he comes in, he's like, I wish that you the one. If not,
you are
the prototype. I was like, oh, hold up. I was like, what's going on here, Andre? What you doing? And then I think the interlude before it made you want to listen to it as well.
Yeah.
But man, it is that whole album, even though it's double CD, and technically that was our first solo. That's our first and only solo album from Andre.
I don't like, bro. Do you count it as a solo album though?
I do.
You do?
The only reason why I do is because it's a whole CD of him by himself, pretty much. Dedicated to his music. Yeah. And then the first one was Speaker Box, which was Big Boy. Even though they came out on the same, even though it's a double album, that CD when you pick it up, it's him. It's his record. It's saying Andre 3000, The Love Below. That's his. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I kind of count it. I do count it as his only solo record. Yeah. Solo album, because it's the way they presented it is, if they would have released it just as that, then it would have been a solo album. So I say it's a solo album. Okay. Do you?
No, I still say it's an Outkast.
It's an Outkast album.
Yeah,
I can see that point. But I just kind of, because if you broke it up and you like, hey, it would be Andre's album, so I kind of count it. So, man, to round it all out, man, my honorable mention. I really was gonna put this in my top 5, but I really want to get that Outkast record, Andre 3000 record in there. But you know, saying Eric Bellinger, he put out a new album last week. What About Us? This song had 7th Streeter on it.
Yeah,
I love this record, man. Period. So I had to put it as an honorable mention, but technically it would have been in my top 5 if it wasn't for Prototype.
Yeah.
So, and I really like that Eric Bellinger album as well. I almost didn't listen to it, but I kept seeing people talk about it.
Yeah.
A lot. So I was like, all right.
Gotta check it out.
Yeah, check that one out, man. It's hard. It's definitely hard.
That's what's up, though, man.
Yeah, man. So, G, what's your top 5? Oh, he's not here. Yeah. Y'all hop on the official Speaker Giga playlist on Apple Music and Spotify to see what G's top 5 was. And also look on the official Instagram page and the official Facebook page and our page to kind of check to see what G's top 5 was and to listen to the playlist in their entirety. So thank you guys for that, and get ready for the playlist that's coming this week.
Oh,
and now let's move into the news, man.
That's your breaking news, boy.
Yeah, news with Tommy T.
Let's start with something light. Usain Bolt basically gave a statement to I don't know who he was talking to, but he basically said Sha'Carri Richardson needs to train harder and talk less. Coming from the man who basically was the fastest man in the world for almost 10 years.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Oh my goodness.
For almost 10 years, this man was, maybe it was 10 years. No, 2016 was his last Olympics. I don't remember his last race. But from 2008 to 2016, this man was the man in the 100. The only reason he's not the man anymore is because he stopped running. As we talked about a few weeks ago, how we felt about Sha'Carri Richardson and what she's going through, I still feel that same way, but also I understand what Usain Bolt is saying. Hey, yeah, you know, trash talk and talking in itself is a part of, you know, track and is being confident in yourself and your talent, but you just sometimes you gotta shut up and put up.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Basically is what he's saying. I'm paraphrasing, by the way. So we haven't heard anything back from Sha'Carri Richardson yet, but she has had a tough season.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, absolutely.
It's hard for her because it's like, man, she has some monsters to beat, man, coming from Jamaica. And I mean, like, that ain't no joke.
And Usain Bolt is from Jamaica too, right?
Yep.
Well,
he's like, it's crazy down there with him, man. Yeah. But yeah, it's you know, like that. I just hope she just, you know, next season be a better season for her. You know,
yeah.
I think the World Championships are next season, so we should see how she does then, and you know, go from there.
Could she move to Jamaica and train with them?
Why would she though?
I mean,
she can always move to Jamaica and, you know, do what she needs to do, but it's
I'm just like just go, you know, like going away to train.
Yeah, she definitely can do that.
I mean, train with some of the fastest women in the world and just get away from the, you know, the American social media, all that, because like you don't hear from Usain Bolt unless he wants to be heard from.
Yeah.
You know, whereas here in America, and I don't know how the media is there in Jamaica, but here in America, man, they everywhere you go, like you end up somehow you know, they're everywhere, just taking pictures of you, whatever. Like, yeah. I wonder if it's a good thing for her to just kind of go somewhere, clear her mind, and train. because you got the potential. We know you can go, but you know, for one, Usain Bolt, which is because he ran for Jamaica, right?
Yeah.
You know, you getting whooped by the Jamaican women, like you said, and you know the man from Jamaica, Usain Bolt, you know, former fastest man in the world for so long, you know, said something simple as, "Hey, let's talk and more training." Maybe that's a culture that, you know, that you may want to. It's kind of like, you know, going to be around some people that's going to make you better, and so that you can come back and just, you know, saying, do your thing.
It's interesting too because I don't feel like she did a lot of trash talking. You know, I always felt like she did a lot of confirming that, hey, I am the truth.
Yeah.
You know, and then when she lost the race, I don't know what she was talking about then. Like that's a time where I was like, all right, she, you know, just talk about, you know, the race and get off the mic. Don't talk about, because I feel like she feels like people have doubted her or went against her because she looks unorthodox. Like she has the different color hair, she got the net. But I'm like, that's what women do, you know.
Yeah.
That's what like the sport is, and I feel like I feel like she runs with it with some type of chip, and that's that
she definitely
somebody
does.
is expecting her not to do well.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I just, you know, it's like, yeah, you just trying to just be better.
Yeah. No, I agree.
You see where your mistakes are, just, you know, go
Fix them.
fix them, man. That's simply it. Just go fix your mistakes and be better next time, because running those times aren't flukes. You know?
We know you got it.
Yeah, you got it in you. If you ran it once, you definitely can run it again.
Yeah, and also we know that she's going through something with the loss of her. It was a mother, right?
It was a mom, her birth mom.
Yeah, so that's rough as well. So
yeah,
you know,
you can't just, you know, she just had a tough season. That's all I look at it as, and she'll be back next season. Like she has to focus more, and this is what Usain Bolt was saying too. She has to focus more on what she's doing and not what the things around her is going on. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. That's the thing. That's the key right there. But you got anything else about that situation?
Nah, man, I agree. Yeah, I really don't think she trash talked.
Yeah, like I don't think she was trash talking or anything. Like she was talking about just the outside things, not about, you know, what was going on the track. Absolutely. I want to bring this up, man, because I think it's pretty cool because I actually have a few of these devices. Jay-Z helps lead $110 million funding into this company called Wise, and they make smart home. They're a smart home company. Now I have a few cameras with them and stuff like that. They make cameras, thermostats, doorbells. They're getting into security, I think. They make vacuums. They make a lot of items, right? And it's a cheaper. It doesn't cost a lot. And so, as we know, Jay-Z has you know, started a venture capital company. He has one, and he's invested in this company and everything like that. So I just wanted to bring that up because I think Jay-Z being the person that he is, and then also Wise being a company that I actually have products from, I feel like Jay-Z is investing in me.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, like he's just producing. He's just producing. Like Wise is a dope company, man. Yeah, I make the connection. I make the connection. That's all. That's it. Me and Jay-Z are connected, bro. We here.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right.
No, but no, I think Wise is a really cool company because it allows a lot of the smart home features. As you know, or maybe you don't know, that I am starting a YouTube channel with basically smart home technology and stuff like that. So Wise is one of those companies that I've been looking into, as well as, you know, using some of the products that they have. And I think they make a good product as well as a good price point too. And it allows a lot of people that can't really afford the high end products of the smart home technology, because I mean, like, let's be honest, man. Having a smart home, just simplifying it as far as, let's go with lights, right? Um, having like, we have, like, Lily's 2 now, and you know, she plays in her room and stuff like that. So in the morning, she'll wake up and she's just sitting in there in the dark until we come by and open the door or something like that. If we didn't open the door when you know, we go downstairs, and so we'll look in on her and see that she's just up sitting in the dark with nothing to do and just in the bed. And so those smart bulbs and everything like that, you can just cut them on without having to get up, stop what you're doing, and she's like, "Oh, okay, I'm cool." Or you can set a timer for the lights to cut on by themselves. Like, she needs to be up by a certain time. You know, you can gradually set it to cut on by itself. So that's one of those things that Wise, you know, provides for the consumer. And man, it's just amazing, man, to see people are actually putting in money towards companies like this. Let me see. I'm just super excited about that, man. I can talk about that for days, man. I know we're not on here to talk about that, but shout out to Jay-Z. Shout out to Wise. Did you have anything to add to that?
As a realtor, and looking at new construction homes and things like that, it's just gonna get to the, you know, they're adding more features, smart home stuff. You know, all my stuff is through ADT. So if it's made by Wise and ADT distributes it, then yeah, I guess I got some. But all my stuff is through ADT. But you know, we got the camera over the garage. We got doorbell cameras and, you know, all type of stuff in the home as far as alarm wise. But yeah, I think it's a great idea, especially for people who can't afford, because this stuff gets expensive, you know.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people, because I've seen a lot of folks, you know, in the hood, they got, you know, cameras now. So, and you know, I think it's a great thing. As long as it's good stuff, you know, and it ain't, you know, cutting corners and just just for a cheaper price, then I think it's a great idea. I don't think it really can go wrong with technology, but there is some technology you can go wrong with. But this type right here, nah, I think it's a great idea.
No, I think it's solid, man. So shout out to them, and hopefully they produce some more products that maybe one day I can feature on my channel.
There you go.
There you go. There you have it. So moving right along, man. I want to talk about this. My wife brought this up to my attention. She brought it up to my attention from another angle, but I'm just strictly stick to this one. Last week, Nicki Minaj basically said that her cousin's friend had got swollen testicles and basically couldn't produce kids anymore. And that's why she was like, she's doing more research on the vaccine. Recently, Nicki Minaj slammed Don Lemon and said he got a little penis. Because basically, for lack of better words, she was like, that was her response to Don Lemon's response to her saying that. He was like, she getting butt shots and won't take a vaccine. So,
hey, the media has
gloves are off, bruh.
Yeah, media has blazed Nicki for her whole her being, you know, against the vaccine. Because to an extent, it's kind of like, well, you did get butt shots or whatever you got in there, but you won't.
Yeah, right.
You know, but you got questions about a vaccine. It does make you look pretty. It does make it look really, really hypocritical. You're kind of like, You didn't know what was in your ass shot, so why are you talking about this shot? So I love Nikki. Like, she's one of my favorite female artists. I love her. But Nick does have that, definitely have the moments of like, you'd be like, come on, Nikki, chill.
Yeah.
Did you hear about I guess some of our fans in Georgia are now like boycotting the CDC, saying that they trust Nikki's opinion more than.
And that's what basically Don Lemon was saying is a lot of people trust celebrities
Yeah,
over science.
Yeah, they look up to them way too much.
Right. I mean, like, if you don't trust it, okay. It's almost a sense of responsibility towards the betterment of people. Like, give a real reason as to why you don't trust a thing. Like, somebody having swollen nuts, give proof. You know what I'm saying? Like, swollen nuts, and you can't just get up there and say this.
Yeah, you just can't tell me that your cousin got swollen testicles because of the shot, like, and that they can't have a baby because it's like, I got the shot, my testicles are just fine.
Yeah, mine too.
You got the shot, you're fine. Like, yeah, you're gonna have to get. It's like, and I'm gonna bring someone else into this real quick. It's like Kyrie Irving. He got on Twitter, and I think he said, "Mask off, no more fear. You take your mask off too," or whatever. It was something along that lines. And we were just kind of like, bruh, oh my goodness.
You can't,
like, it's just so irresponsible. Like, if you don't want to take the vaccine or you want to do research, fine, do it. But don't get on social media and say it and mess up other people's, because you can pretty much take away their choice of going to do their own research. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't, like, you ain't got to tell everybody. Just do you and, enjoy your life, because it's way too many people that look up to you.
Yeah. Like I always look at one thing and be like, hey man, who's the professional in the situation? Who's the person that deals with this stuff on a day-to-day basis? Who's doing the research?
Absolutely.
Who's got certified to actually know what they're talking about?
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't expect anybody to. I'm not a mechanic of any kind. I can do small things to a car, right? But if you have something major to your car, asking me to look at it is like, that's a waste of your time.
Yeah. Like, what am I going to look at it for?
All I'm going to do is suggest you go to my mechanic.
Yeah.
Hey, my mechanic always fix my stuff. Here, I give you his number. I tell you where he at. I call him for you, whatever.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I ain't finna diagnose your car.
No, I'm not a professional.
If you have a question about how to produce a podcast, hey, I can help you out with that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I've done that. If you have a question about accounting, hey, I can help you out with that. Got a master's degree in that. I might not be the best one, but hey, I can point you in the right direction. I can get you some answers. I know how to answer your question.
Absolutely.
But go ahead.
Go ahead. I was going to say, and then also, be careful of the professional that you go to as well, because a lot of people have been posting these doctors, but it's doctors of many levels, right? You have different type of doctors and different type of scientists. You have, doctors that are versed in this. And then you have doctors of like natural medicine. And then you have like, dog doctors. And everyone commenting and they're like, oh, they're a doctor. They know what they're talking about. When it's like, are they, I can't remember what the classification is. That's what I was trying to remember. It's like, are they such and such doctor? And they're like, no. And it's like, so how do they may be versed in some of that, but they don't really know what's going on. So it's like, be careful. Like, if you like the mechanic situation, if you go to a mechanic and you got a foreign car, don't go to a regular mechanic. You need to go to a mechanic that specializes in foreign cars. You know what I'm saying? So everybody, be careful, man. I say this: do your research if you want to. Be careful when you state your stuff, because other folks got to make their own choices. And then remember, Nick ain't a damn doctor.
Right.
Period. Are scientists. Like,
right.
You can do your research and probably won't understand the hell it's talking about.
Right.
Consult a professional and move around.
That's it, man.
Yeah.
That's it. So, I don't get why people are like boycotting the CDC.
Is that what it is? I think that's what it is. I don't know.
The CDC is the ones that like, it's the research people.
Yeah.
Like they look at these diseases and like they give us the answers. Like
we do this.
Yeah. Like I ain't
period.
saying like if you don't trust the CDC, read what they're reading.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But don't just listen to somebody that's saying something that they think, because a lot of the information that's going out is going out because it's an inconvenience of what's going on.
Yeah.
Like the pandemic has been an inconvenience for everybody. Some
Absolutely.
people have figured out a way to move around the inconvenience, and some people haven't.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the ugly truth of it. But it's ultimately has been an inconvenience for everybody. Yeah. And we're trying to, and a lot of the stuff has been common sense. Like it hadn't been real scientific methods of like wearing a mask, telling somebody to wear a mask was only common sense.
Pretty
because
much.
If I spit, sneeze, or cry on you, right? And I just threw cry in there because I felt like it should have been another one. But if I spit or sneeze on you, and that's the way things are transported, what's the best way for me to block that? Have some type of shield on
over
things that can enter. So you only have so many spots where you can enter the body. Open wound, mouth, nose, ears, other places. Those other places are covered.
Yeah, like
most of the time, nobody is spitting in you. It's not like they're not whispering. So it's like, hey, 6 feet keeps somebody from whispering in your ear.
Mm-hmm. And you can breathe.
And you can breathe.
People can just cut that whole mess out about.
Yeah, so and then people asking about what's in it. Like, if they really told you what was in it, would you know?
Would you even know? Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's like, Ludo Sundervice and Udo Gunners and hypothyroid and kind of you'd be like, oh, okay.
All right.
The fuck is that?
Exactly, man.
For sure.
So who do you trust in that situation, man? The people that actually studied this stuff, or the people that's just saying, hey, I don't trust it because of X, Y, and Z?
Yeah. Yeah.
So there you have it with that. Something else I want to bring up, man, which is shout out to Ghana, man. He was honored. I want to say on Thursday, September 16th, he was honored with his own day in South Fulton, Georgia. Basically, what I did not know is how much that he gives to the community to help build the community up, man. It's really dope. He's actually opening up a store, something like a store at McNair Middle School. So students can come in and get supplies that they need, food, and other toiletries from the school. I think that's really dope. How much he gives, that's dude, people need stuff like that, especially in today's time.
Is it gonna cost? Is the store like? So it's a free store?
It's a free store that they can come in and and get things that they need.
I wonder if you go in and you can do you have to still check out, but it's just free?
I'm pretty sure you still have to check out for accounting purposes.
Yeah, and then inventory and knowing how much you got left for store. That's pretty dope.
Because people still can steal from free things. It sounds dumb.
It's but you can.
But you can.
Absolutely. Shout out to Gunner, man.
Yeah, man. That's I mean, he's in clothing too for years to come, man.
Hey, you know what? When you first put this in here, I was like, why they giving him a day? That's my first thought.
Exactly. You see that, you be like, why?
But then you once you broke it down, I was like, oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah. He deserves that.
No, for sure, man. That's huge, man. And he's doing it from a good place, man. He's big on giving back to different communities and stuff like that. So shout out to him. And September 16th now and forever will be known for what they call it as Sergio Giovanni Gunner Kitchen Day in the city of South Fulton. So congratulations to him. And
yeah.
else. Last thing I want to bring up, man, and I think this will get us going into our episode about the verses this past week with Fat Joe and JaRule. Diddy, Puff, I don't know his name. Is it Puff Daddy or Diddy?
It's Love right now. He changed his middle name to Love. But
so whatever you call him, Diddy, Love, Puff Daddy,
Sean Combs, Sean Love Combs,
whatever.
Yeah,
the bad boy mogul himself has been challenged, and he sidestepped that challenge to challenge somebody else. This past week, after the JaRule and Fat Joe versus, JD sent a tweet out saying, "Somebody let @Diddy know I'm at the Garden right now, and he gonna need some training for me." Diddy's response to him was, "Beloved, you my nigga, but your arms too short to box with God." I hear him saying that, bro.
Yeah, because he said that on. Well, he didn't say that.
It was on the Rick Ross.
He said that on the Rick Ross where he was like, "Do you wanna with the rats and roaches, or you wanna done with God, nigga?" I was like, I felt that in my soul.
Yeah, right, you feel it, right? You feel it.
So I can hear him literally saying, "Your arms too short to box with God, nigga." And it's just kind of like, yo, Puff is like the modern day, what's the name from New Jack City? Dang, who did what was his name? That
I can't remember.
What's the name?
You talking about Wesley Snipes' character, right?
Yeah, New Jack City, man.
I can't remember his name.
I feel like that's Diddy, without all the drugs.
I hope it's not Diddy, because dude was a punk.
He was.
Man.
Looking back at it, he was. But I mean, he was the leader of the gang. I can kind of hear. Yeah.
I got you. I get your point, man.
Yeah.
Diddy basically said that JD don't have enough hits for him. Like it's gonna be a one-sided fight, and he was like, Dre is the only one. Dr. Dre, if you don't know, is the only one that can actually step in the ring with him. First off, I'm gonna give my opinion about what he said, and then I'm gonna give my opinion about who would be the better fight.
All right,
I don't mean like physical fight, but this versus battle. And this is the where we've come with versus.
Yeah.
Where people have started challenging each other. I love it. I really love it. But anyway, so JD, Puff Daddy saying JD doesn't have hits. That's a lie.
Someone said that?
That's what not he doesn't have hits, but he doesn't have enough.
Got enough.
I think he can compete with Diddy for a 20-song battle, because that's all you need. He has plenty. I honestly would like the banter more than just the hit for hit. Between them. I honestly think Diddy is one of those people you can put up against anybody, and it's gonna be a good versus, just because of the banter. But I think the better versus with Diddy would be somebody that he's really close to. Somebody that you can truly get some stories about stuff from. Because now you've seen the transition from how it was with Snoop and DMX to we're in concert, basically. Or you remember the intimate sessions we had with Brandy and Monica, how, it was a beef behind them, but then they talked about the stories that they spent with each other and how the boy's mind was made. You know, so I think Diddy would be better on an intimate session with a friend versus doing a concert style like we've been seeing, like how we saw with the Locks and Dipset and also with Fat Joe and JaRule. I still think JD and Diddy would make a good versus. I think they would go back and forth as you saw on Fat Joe's. I think his podcast with Snoop was on there. Diddy was on there and JD was on there. They was like, hey, let's go back and forth now. And you know, Diddy doing his thing and JD being the person that he is, he like sign the papers. Let's do this, sign the papers. But to address the Dre part, I think that would do a lot for hip hop, just because Dr. Dre, for whatever reason, if he represents Death Row, you know, in the sense of Diddy representing Bad Boy, which he is, but also that East Coast and West Coast beef, being able to, I don't want to say reignite that beef, but just being able to kind of see the dynamic of the music then, you know, because you know we're gonna get Tupac songs, you know we're gonna get Biggie songs, and they're gonna go against each other. But it's honestly to honor the East and the West in a way of quote unquote squashing the beef, you know, and seeing that, hey, we still can work together on things and stuff like that. So that would be an interesting take on that versus, and that's a versus I would want to see in an intimate session, like we had with DMX and Snoop and Brandy and Monica.
Gotcha.
What's your take, brother?
So I had a whole discussion about this with my guys at the Halfway Humble podcast. Shout out to them.
Shout out to them. Friends of the pod.
Yeah, we got a whole group chat with my homeboy Cam and E and Jay and both J's and Stamps. We had a whole discussion about this after it happened, and so we had to kind of break it down, right? Because honestly, I was like, it would be cool to see JD up there with Diddy, but that Diddy would take it easily with what he got. JD does have hits. I mean, we had to break it down all the way to like, all right, so you know, there's Mariah, you know, you got Chris Cross, you got some Usher stuff in there, you got Bone Crusher, Lil Jon, you know, you got a lot in there. The Brat, Monica, you know, you got a lot in there that JD had his hands in. But then you go with the Diddy, and it's like, man, you talking Biggie, Mace, Total, Mary J. Even though Craig Mack really just had one record, that record was fire. Man, you got a lot over in there. Plus, you got Tip, records from Tip.
Yeah.
Man, you got a lot in there, so it would be a tough night for JD. Yeah. It will have to be in the neutral space. Couldn't be in New York. Couldn't be in Atlanta.
It definitely can't be in New York.
Yeah, have to be in a neutral space. So it would be interesting, but I think Diddy has like just some crazy amount of hits that I don't know. It'll be a long night for JD. As far as him calling out Dre, what we kind of came to the realization with Dre is Dre doesn't need to box with anybody in the verses.
No.
Dre has too much. You know what I'm saying? It'll be pretty much the reverse. It would be the reverse then. Like Puff would give a good run. But Dre just got, I mean, you mentioned Eminem, 50 Cent, and Tupac and Snoop. It's like, okay.
Don't forget about NWA.
No, I'm just saying, just mention those that he uses, and it's like, okay, and we haven't even mentioned NWA, Easy,
right.
Ice Cube, Kendrick, Game. We ain't even mentioned none of them yet. we just mentioned those big five, and it's kind of like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
You know, not to mention, we ain't even mentioned him.
Right.
The Chronic itself.
The Chronic. That was Snoop's album. I don't care what nobody say. That was Snoop's album.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we ain't even mentioned that. And it's like, like we were just kind of conclusion. It would be fun, but nah. It would. Now, on the perspective of the, you know what I'm saying, the Bad Boy Death Row situation, it'd be cool to see them sit in the same room, talk, and get that all out. But it can't be done in LA. Period.
Nah. You have to do that somewhere like Florida or something.
Yeah, Miami probably.
Let's go to
Can't
Miami.
be done in LA.
Get DJ Khaled to be the
no,
DJ.
Please don't. No. Please don't. I'm sorry, but Khaled needs to. We need some legendary DJs to come and do this. I'm not saying that he's not, because I don't want that to sound wrong. I'm just saying
Khaled's definitely legendary.
Yeah, Khaled's definitely there. I'm just saying we need somebody
from that time.
Yeah, from that time, because
who's from that time that was a DJ?
Oh man, you got Funk Master Flex. You got you got a couple of them,
but that reps for both sides though.
No, they have their own. You know, they have their own DJ.
I'm just saying it's that's what I meant. Like, yeah, like you know how DJ D Nice when they did the Isley Brothers and Earth, Wind and Fire, and DJ D Nice was the only DJ up there.
See, I wouldn't do that. I let them bring their own.
I would be like, yeah, let's just have one DJ.
Nah, bring their own.
Bring DJ Yellow back.
I let them bring. Yeah, I mean Yellow and you know what I'm saying, whoever Puff got bring. I would let them bring their own like they've been doing. But I think it would have to be in. I don't know if it could still be in front of a crowd, but it's got to be. It's because I don't think it's gonna go back to those intimate settings. I think those are done.
I think
because people are buying tickets now to attend, so it's money to be made. So I think those intimate situations are done unless it's needed.
Well, I just thought about this. Look at the SWV and what's the group that Tiny was in? Tiny and Escape.
That wasn't an intimate session.
It wasn't an intimate session, but it was they would perform, but they told story. They sat down and told stories too.
Well, I'm talking about
the
as
same
far
as like setting it up that way would be cool as well.
Yeah, that would be fine, which they can do. I'm talking about like the intimate sessions of like Snoop and DMX, you know, being in the studio and no one else there. I think that's over with. I think they're gonna pile as many people in that can and make this money. But definitely go to the storytelling and enjoy it. So that's my take on it. But you know, that's kind of how I see it going.
I'm still waiting on T.I. to have one.
Man, look, I love Tip, but man, at this point, you ain't getting one. You ain't getting one. Just move on.
He ain't said nothing about one, but dog, I want him to get one, dog.
He did. He had a live. He went live after the Fat Joe and all that, and he was talking about it.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Because he was kind of saying that he was like, man, I love you, Pup, but don't act like the South just can't rock. Like we just like
that's how I feel like. That's why I feel like, man, just like.
But I think they're taking it too personal because I'm gonna be honest with you, like. Puff would smash JD easily. I'm sorry, like because and then also this is part of the dynamic of the trash talking. So if you take it personal, I don't think you need to be anywhere near.
You can't take it personal.
Yeah, it's fun, you know, and it's a build up. Like Puff knows how to build something. So if he did do it against JD, you already are invested at this moment,
right?
You know,
like
you know.
The thing about it, man, it's like you don't remember. Like a lot of the songs that JD plays, you're not gonna remember until he plays them.
Until he play them, yeah.
And then you be like, oh, okay.
Yeah, oh, definitely.
Like the difference is, first off, it's 20 songs. That has never changed. It's always been 20 songs.
Yep.
But the difference between like the verses now is, well, not the difference, but the thing is, JD has 20 hits.
Oh, he definitely got 20 hits.
Diddy, on the other hand, has way more than 20 hits. Like Diddy has way more hits than JD, because the production of music has gone longer and being a real factor. I don't want to say JD's not a factor in music today because he is, but just being in the forefront, being behind top music artists, being behind, and stuff like that, that has gone longer than it has for JD. Because I don't know if he's on or around any of Houdini's songs, but he was with them for a little while too. Like he was traveling with them when he was a kid. So that's something he may or may not be able to play, but I mean they had hits too.
Yeah.
So
my thing is he can definitely compete. It's just I don't think Diddy made it in the way that certain people are taking it like, oh, what you trying to say? Like the South ain't got, the South ain't got something to say. Like no one said that, bro. It Diddy. Like
it's different.
Let's not act like you start running it down. You gonna put a Bow Wow hit up against a Biggie hit?
No, you can't.
All right, that's my point. That's my point.
You can't do that. That's not fair.
Absolute point is like
it's not fair.
It's like, yeah, you can do the Bone Crusher hit, but he might drop one from Mace. And you like, oh, okay, it's gonna be a long night, JD. All right, and then you don't know what else he's gonna pull out because I mean, let's mention the Locks were bad boy as well.
Yeah, that's true too. He
can drop some of that.
That's true too.
Craig Mack got the one, but it's heavy, and he can drop that too. You want to drop something from Jagged Edge? Cool. He can drop something from Total too. You want to drop something from Mariah Carey? Cool. He can drop something from Mary J. Mariah Carey may be the trump card because Mariah Carey is freaking amazing.
Yeah.
But just kind of going down. All right. Now JD may have some more there that I just ain't linked to JD, but
he definitely does.
It's like when you start looking at Diddy, it's kind of like, oh, it's gonna be a long night for you, my brother.
and that's the thing that I was saying about JD, man. It's some heat in there that we not even thinking about, man.
Definitely there.
No, but I still got that feeling that you were saying. T.I. was feeling like the South is kind of being left out of this thing lately, because for the last few ones. Last time we, Fat Joe and JaRule. The time before that was the Locks and Dipset. What was the time before that?
I don't really remember what was the time before. I have to go through all the versus stuff to see.
Yeah,
but I think we gotta be careful. Like,
why we ain't had nobody from Houston? I wouldn't mind hearing the Scarface versus somebody.
I mean, shoot, people
boys
gotta freaking agree to it. That's one thing. Like,
what about Cash Money versus No Limit?
For some, they can't get that together.
They can't get it together. Like that's the thing. It's like, man, like for me being a Southerner, I want to hear some of these Southern acts just because, like, I'm closer to their music. Even though, like, the music that's being done on these verses, man, have been dope. I think all the verses have been dope. In some shape, form, or fashion. Some better than others. But it's like I resonate with the music a little bit, but I would resonate with the music from the South a little bit better than I would from the Northern acts, just because this is the music that I grew up listening to.
I think that's why we got to check ourselves at the door, because, music's everywhere.
Yeah.
Is definitely, and they only doing one at a time. So, and we got to look at it like one of, if not the biggest one, was Jeezy and Gucci.
Yeah.
The South has its stamp on it. I think we just gotta. I think a lot of people gotta chill on. South can't be in every single freaking one.
But that's it. But just being Southern, man, you're like, the South gotta be here.
I don't.
It has to be represented. I feel that way.
I don't. I'm not on every one.
Like, I'm waiting for a Dungeon Family versus anybody.
Yeah. I mean, it's supposed to be some other ones that just hasn't happened.
Dungeon Family. The Dungeon Family gotta do one. I don't know who they would go against, but it's like Come on, man. I want to see 3 6 Mafia go up against somebody, man.
It was supposed to be one, but
It was supposed to be with like Bone, but I was
yeah.
like, I don't know if I like that one.
I mean, it ain't really no one else.
Yeah, like that's why I feel like you got to
these
start
things
putting
got to
groups
sell
in there.
too. You know, they got to sell as well. So
yeah,
but
nah, I feel you.
You know, so
let's get into it, man. Fat Joe
let's
versus JaRule.
Yeah,
Did you watch it?
I did.
We recorded that day, so
we got done recording. I went and I watched it.
Yeah,
and
I
it was
forgot
ending.
about it, honestly, I stumbled back upon it.
Yeah, it was ending as I went to go watch it. So I wandered to the beginning and watched it. I skipped a big long wait for them to come out.
Yeah, they're like 30 minutes, and then
I skipped that part and I went straight to it, and I enjoyed it a lot. Great battle. I've been trying. I wish they would start putting back up like the numbers for the verses, because we don't know how many people, the numbers that it did, how many people watched, all that. I wish they start putting that back up. So unfortunately, I could not find anything on like the ratings.
I thought I saw something, man. I probably didn't, but I don't know.
If you find something, saying doing this, shout them out. But I couldn't find anything. I just kept finding people talking about, trying to weigh in and like who won and all that. But man, I enjoyed it. Once again, another one that was in New York. I'm be honest, man, the versus battles in New York feel different. They just feel different. And, this isn't a slight on any other place. Because we haven't seen it done. We've only seen it done live like that in certain places. So I want to see it done live in like LA, or I know we kind of saw it done live we did see it done live in the South, in Atlanta, but the energy didn't match the New York energy. Like the New York energy was different. It felt like a concert. Not only that, it felt good. It felt like people were actually, rapping the songs back, a lot of crowd interaction. It felt prestige, with New York being the mecca of hip hop. It just felt different. It felt real good. And kind of like with the Locks and Dipset. Yeah. It was that same just New York energy. Like it was crazy how they, it felt so good. So I really, really enjoyed it. The coolest part was seeing JaRule actually being in his moment. He looked so happy. It seemed like he was in his atmosphere amongst all the other stuff that has happened to him or he's tried to do. JaRule looked happy. Joe looked happy. There's a lot of stuff to talk about this one. And as we know, as far as the whole thing with Ashanti and Nelly's situation and then Lil Mo and Vita.
What was that thing, man?
So the thing that was brought up with Ashanti and Nelly was that Ashanti said that she hadn't spoke to him since they broke up. So that was the first time she's even had an interaction with him. So it was kind of like, I don't think anyone knew that he was, besides Fat Joe, knew that he was going to be there. At least her didn't know. And she was just kind of like, she didn't know what was going to happen, because at the end you saw him walk across stage and you get this brief clip of him, getting a hug from her. But you don't see the hug. You just kind of see him and it looked like it's emotional. But she was like, yeah, got a hug. She just didn't know what he was going to say or what, because, they haven't spoken since they broke up. So that was pretty interesting.
Was their breakup really bad or something?
That I don't remember. I remember them breaking up, but I don't remember how bad it was. So I'm assuming, yes, if you haven't talked to a person in that many years, that's crazy. Yeah. Well, not crazy, but it in that way of it could have been pretty bad. Yeah. But that was the whole thing with Ashanti.
Can we go ahead and give Ashanti the MVP for this one?
For this one?
Yeah.
I don't. Do we give Ashanti the MVP, or do we give Remy the MVP?
I'd say Ashanti, man. Even though Remy like stole the show.
Remy stole the show.
Remy stole the show.
Look here.
But bruh.
I felt like Rim would beat up JaRule. I'm just being honest, man. She was hey, she walked. Look here. I feel like Rim would beat up JaRule, man. Nah, I like Rule. Yeah, let's give Ashanti the MVP.
Let's give Ashanti
because she performed on both sides
a couple times.
Yeah, a couple times. Let's definitely give it to her. Rim did her thing. She performed a lot with Ja. And I mean, a lot with Fat Joe, but then she did perform with Ja to a certain extent because there was the one record that JaRule had gave the hook to for Fat Joe. So there was that moment where they all performed together. So that was a great moment. But yeah, man, let's give it to Ashanti. She did amazing. Remy did amazing. Seeing Vita. And I haven't seen her.
I didn't know who she was. The funny part about it was I didn't know who she was. And then as soon as they got off, Fat Joe was like, man, you need to feed them.
Yeah. And we're going to talk about that part. But before we get to that, definitely shout out to Vita, man. It was good seeing her, as well as seeing Drake from Cool and Dre.
Yeah.
And Lil Mo as well. And of course Nelly, because he performed. So that was pretty much all the features. That was are we missing one?
About Mr. Versus himself. Kiss.
I kind of don't count him as a feature because he came out at the end. They performed the New York record. But he was there, definitely.
He's a feature.
So yeah, the only person to be on, he's got to run now. Just keep showing up the verses. He is now the versus
Mr.
legend.
Versus
just keep showing up, Mr. Versus. So that was the features, which, like we said, we gave the MVP to Ashanti, who did amazing that night. But yeah, man, you brought up the whole thing about Joe. Joe kind of went off the rails with the females, telling Ja to feed them, and everybody who worked with him are millionaires, and you got to go find your chicks in a crack house, and he called them a bunch of dusty bees. And Lil Mo and them took it. They didn't.
Lil Mo took offense to that.
Yeah, definitely Lil Mo and Vita took offense to that. In which, shout out to Joe, he has at this moment has apologized 3 times. I think it's gonna be something that it's gonna have to take some time to heal, but they can't go back to that stage to apologize. I think the more fitting would have been apologize right there on stage, or just never done it at all.
I think he didn't mean anything behind it.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think it was a lot of trash talking.
I think it was just like you can't forgive, and big up to Fat Joe for just apologizing because you can't avoid somebody's feelings.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But like you said, I think it was just he's out here talking, and you take it with a grain of salt,
but it's directed. It's one thing to talk trash,
but that honestly happened before anybody came out.
Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of like directing the energy in that way. And I mean, your versus battle was with you and Ja. He has apologized 3 times. I think he needed. I think Joe should just go ahead and send them some Birkin bags as well.
Yeah,
take care of them ladies. Because Lil Mo and Vita are dope. Vita in her day when rapping was dope. I was definitely a fan of her, waiting for her to put out her music around that time. And then Lil Mo is Lil Mo. And Lil Mo, the thing about Lil Mo, that's some triggers for her there. So she suffered from addiction and things like that. So yes. Like you said, it's the moment. Sometimes things happen, but also be a little mindful, man. It's some people gonna take offense offense to things. And when you directing that energy, because I mean they were coming out to perform with Ja, you know, you're talking about me. It can be tough. So I'm glad he stepped up and apologized. Because he apologized backstage. He apologized on I think Twitter or whatever, and then he also apologized on his actual
on his podcast.
So yeah, I hope they can get all that together, man. That was kind of rough because when he said, I was kind of like, oh. At first, it was like, oh man, but then it was like, oh, hold up, yeah, that kind of there, that kind of it's kind of rough, you know. And it's like, you know, sometimes you be like, yo, you don't want to tell somebody, hey man, chill.
Like it, like even that banner going back and forth was a little. It wasn't as tense as it was with the Locks versus Dipset, but it was because I mean, like the Locks was just disrespectful.
Styles was disrespectful.
Right, that's what I'm saying. It was just like
Jada was too, like that was like and that's kind of and Josh said it best. He was like, man, it's just, you know, all this, you know,
they're putting all this
trash
man.
talking was you know, we do that on the block, and it's all love, and you know, it's a different way up in New York, so I understand it. It's just when you're looking at it, it's right, yeah, you kind of like because you know, around here in our culture, we talk crazy too, but we know when
it's so far we're gonna go,
exactly,
you know,
before it's a rumble. You know,
and then the crazy part about that is we gonna go back and chill like nothing happened.
Yeah,
me and you ain't got like that before.
Yeah, we have. Take a day, blow it over. Yeah, you know,
we back chilling.
And then you know,
but I love that though. I love
the apologize or the trash talk.
The trash talk, like the fact that he apologized shows you what type of guy he is. And if you don't follow Fat Joe, you wouldn't know what type of guy he is. But even before the verses, you know what type of man this guy is. You know, so gotcha. No, just the manner and how they were going back and forth and everything like that. I love that because you can see a sense of friendship in there. You can see a sense of respect in there, even though. Fat Joe brought up 50 Cent so many times because everybody knows 50 Cent basically destroyed JaRule's career.
Yeah.
He completely destroyed single-handedly.
Just about.
Yeah. So we know how touchy that subject is. And Fat Joe continued to bring it up. And then also JaRule being the person that he is, you know, just going back at him. Yeah. You know, I'm talking about play your songs, play your hits. You don't have hits. And it's like Fat Joe does have hits, but
he definitely has.
He has hits, but JaRule has hits.
Yeah, that's true.
And JaRule, like he said something, I was like, you know what? He's right. He did create or was the pioneer behind rapping and singing. He was Drake before Drake.
Who came first, Nelly or
JaRule.
JaRule came first?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Then definitely.
Yeah.
Ja.
He was one of the pioneers to do that. So
yeah, and that brings me to well, hold up. Well, I mean, Bone. Did Bone come before?
Yeah, they came before him for that, but it was Ja coined it. Ja coined the what he did.
I say he perfected it.
Yeah,
but
he's like the T-Pain of that.
Bone is
that
kind
of
Bone Thugs and Harmony.
You feel me?
For anyone. Well, actually, Do or Die. That whole crew, Do or Die, Bone, all that era there was more of that. But then they kind of took it in a different direction when it came to Ja, Nelly, and now we got Drake, of course. That brings me to two questions. Like looking at, you brought up the whole 50 Cent situation, man. I truly, and I said this, I think in the Slack, I was like, Ja could possibly still be here if that beef never would have happened.
No, he definitely could. He probably wouldn't be putting out his own music, but he would definitely be asked to be featured on stuff.
I think he would still be putting out music.
You think so?
Yeah,
I don't know about new music.
the
that
thing
Fire
about
Festival
Ja,
thing hurt him too.
but see, I think it's a lot of series of events. So I think if his career was never like hit that hard by the whole 50 Cent beef, I don't
Yeah.
think you never would have got to Fire Fest at all. Like I don't
Nah,
think
I
it
don't think
just
he
would have never happened. You know, he's been
Yeah.
off doing other things.
Yeah.
So I can't like I'm just counting that particular situation, you know, like I really feel like he could have still been here because like for one, Ja could spit. Like unlike,
Mhm.
you know, other like he was
Yeah.
on records with Jay, you know, and they were getting that. Like he could go, you know,
Yeah.
unlike
Yeah.
other artists, he could definitely hold his own within that time. Now, he was heavily compared to DMX at that point. So I don't know how far he would have if he would have been here today. But I think that 50 Cent beef, I really do think that he would have had a longer run if it wasn't for that. But um I think he's still writing music and stuff. He just behind the scenes. That's why I think that he could have, you know what I'm saying, still been putting out his own music because he's writing music for other artists. So, and which he did in that time too. So that was my whole thing about that.
Yeah.
And then the second part is when that happened, when the verses started going, I wonder how many people were surprised at the level of hits that Ja had or was reminded by it. Do you think that he can start back doing music today after the verse? So it's two things. Were you surprised by the hits? And then secondly, because of this look, because I got something to follow up with that. Because of this versus battle, do you think he can start back? He can follow up with doing his own music now.
I never was surprised by the hits because I was a big JaRule fan when he first came out and stuff like that. So the music itself, his catalog, never surprised me.
Mm-hmm.
Dude was like great at what he did. Can he start touring and going back and doing those songs? I think so, but I don't think he can. One, I don't think he can do it by himself. Two, he has to find a really good person to go on tour with. Like he could definitely do
I think it'll be in with the whole Locks and Diplomats tour as well, state property tour. I think he could do that.
he could
I think it could
I don't
help.
know. I don't know if he could do that because it's a different type of fan. But what I
Well, I don't know because I'm looking at the whole New York thing.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? I think if you wanted to,
if you faced it with New York, you would have to have different acts. Like you would have to have more, like because you think about it like this. I think about it from a music festival standpoint because he could go do music fest and be successful at what he's doing.
yeah.
Because music festivals are gonna bring that different type of fan. Because
They're gonna be multiple.
Right, that's what I'm talking about.
Friends. That's why I say I think he could do it. Because it would be, you would have to, you know, you're gonna break up the hard shit. Because it's all like it's state property, hard.
And that's what I'm talking about.
Hard.
But
Diplomats hard. And then you get John, it's like, oh shit.
Like once you get to that point, it's like you think about this, you got all these hard people that, you know, are going to this show. And then you have this small group because like JaRule is not gonna he's not selling out shows.
Well, I don't know. That's what I'm saying.
That's my answer to your question. He's not going to sell out a show by himself. But what he will do is he'll bring some seats that's already at the festival or already at the concert. People aren't going to be like, I'm going to this concert because JaRule is there.
Gotcha.
You know, people are going to be more excited because JaRule is there. But nah, I'm not. I'm buying my ticket because of JaRule. Nah, you probably get one or two people that do that.
Yeah, I mean, it may not be specifically like, you know, but I think after his versus battle is a good time to follow up and go.
Oh, it's definitely a time for him to start doing some stuff because, I mean, he's like the verses just basically does that.
Yeah, and that's why I'm saying like I think that people would come out more, you know, for him specifically. So, but we'll wait to see. As far as putting out his own music, jury's still out on that.
I don't think new music would be.
I think
worth
test
a
it.
listen.
I think definitely test it.
Yeah, oh for sure, test it. Like all means, go out and put new music out. But me personally, I don't believe that. I'm gonna be like, yeah, I need to go listen to that new JaRule.
But you're on the top of someone's mind, and when it drops, it's like, man, Ja had them hits. I'm gonna check this out.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna listen to it, but
probably working and see, if it's worth that. So,
it's definitely a shot to go for it. So,
yeah. The interesting thing about this whole thing is that I was listening to Hot 97. They was breaking down the versus battle with John Fat Joe, and they brought up that there was many times that there was a lot of records that, for one, Joe did not play, and then there was many times when Joe could have really took over this thing, but he didn't. And what was said was that per Ashanti, that this was all to be a good look for Ja, because Ja, what he's been through. Mm-hmm. So it's very interesting, that it's very interesting to hear that, because then it's like, is that, I don't know if that's true. That's just what I heard from the show. So it's like, it's pretty interesting. Because I mean, he does need a look. So that's why I kind of wonder if this was all the work to get, Ja to where he needs to be, and we could possibly see if he can, follow up with some new music or go on tour, whatever. So
yeah,
it may be interesting.
Overall, I think the verses overall, I think JaRule stood to benefit the most from the verses, because it allowed people to see him. And a lot of times that's important for artists, to be physically seen in a platform that's wanted him. You know what I'm saying? Where he could be successful in performing, and that gave him a space, even with me not thinking that Fat Joe was a great opponent for anybody, because I like Fat Joe, but a lot of his music misses me. Like it like his real hits, I mess with them, but I ain't just I listen to his album and I ain't finna be like, oh, this like T.I. to me. Like how, or T-Pain, how I can go back and listen to T-Pain and be like, yeah, So this gives JaRule an opportunity to actually perform again, to actually put his music back out there, and really, get the wheels rolling on him as an artist, because of how bad he was beat up by 50 Cent in his career. Like, not physically beat up, but how he, his career was like basically ended by another artist, unfairly to me, I think. I don't even know what their beef was about, but
they had some real issues. So there's street stuff that ended up playing over.
Yeah. No, I think for this versus, for me, the winner was ultimately JaRule, and helping with. I hope he does take this opportunity, just like Jadakiss did. Take this opportunity and run with it. Yeah. Don't be sitting up here doing the Fire Festival no more.
Oh, that's dead. Better be. No, that's all good points. And yeah, definitely. For me, I like Fat Joe. Yeah. I like them older records that he had, and Fat Joe always had some. I think it was underrated until, when he really started releasing them hits. Yeah. I think if we're judging just the versus battle, I think it was really a tie. Yeah. Because it ain't just hits. It ain't just for hits about. It ain't just hits. It ain't just about hits for me. The hits are cool, but some of them hits, didn't stand up to, some just album cuts. But I digress on that. But I think it was a tie. But like ultimately, if we wanted the overall winner, it was JaRule, because I think he really needed some type of positive outlook.
Yeah.
And he looked so happy to be in
he
his
looked like
environment.
he
He looked like he was having time of his life. If this was a movie and this was the end of his career right here,
that's been perfect.
I think that this is perfect to go out like that. But also, you know what I'm saying, I think that as far as Fat Joe, you know, Fat Joe gonna Fat Joe. He got Fat Joe got records. He's fine. He's still here. He's doing amazing. He's got his podcast. He is fine. Perfectly fine. And but for Ja, I think overall he will be the ultimate winner because he gets this good look. And we're gonna see what he does in the future with it. I enjoyed it. A lot of great moments. Them two going back and forth. The you know, the comments, you know, from Joe about the women was a little too much. But other than that, seeing, you know, he gave gifts to Remy and Ashanti the Birkin bags we saw, and then them two actually seeing Ja and Joe perform together on one of the records was pretty dope as well. It was a great moment. Hip hop wins in the end. Hip hop definitely wins. And man, it was a great night, man. I just feel like New York is just so different when it comes to the verse. It feels like it just feels
it's a different vibe, you know? For sure.
Absolutely. So yeah, man. Absolutely.
I don't have anything else about the verses, man.
Oh.
No.
Well,
let's go on and get out of here, man.
We can get up at it. All I'm gonna say is hip hop wins. Legendary night. Every time. And I think we got more than we expected, man. So
for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. Definitely.
You guys, well, thank you for listening to another episode of the Speaker Geekers podcast. As always, man, please go check us out on YouTube at 3M Media Studios, as well as on your favorite podcast streaming app. We're there. Speaker Geekers Podcast. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Speaker Geekers Podcast, as well as you can follow me at I am Tommy T the Third. On Instagram, you got Steve at the Great Steve O Steve, and you got Greg at
Woodbury.
No, Berry Made of Wood. I had to think of
it
because he just changed a few weeks ago. So Berry Made of Wood for G on Instagram. Also, look for our playlist to Spotify on Spotify and Apple Music at Speaker Geekers playlist. We update it every week, so you're gonna get a new top 5 every week. So check that out as well. That's all I got, man. You got anything else?
Nah, man. I'm just looking forward to the next one. I hope it's a good one. We got to find if they putting out numbers anymore. I don't know.
Yeah, we got to find out how to find out the numbers and everything. Like, they do put them out somewhere. I thought I saw on like maybe their Instagram or something like that. But we'll the next one we'll figure it out and everything like that. So
yeah, and be looking out, man. Monday Mark next weekend.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, gonna be stopping through to discuss, to talk with us until G is back. And man, just be ready for the next episode.
Be ready for it, man. All right, man. With that being said, I'm out. Peace.
Peace.